Hello everybody and welcome to our last Crusade, or the Rise of a New World, episode 3 anime review. Weird they were on episode 3 considering what happened in this week's episode. The fight that happened, I was expecting it to happen, but I don't think I was expecting it to happen quite so soon. I mean, we're still really early on for such a, conceivably massive fight. I'm sure it'll probably happen again. The foe did not seem to be fully vanquished, so to speak, but who really knows, that's for sure. I'm enjoying this way too much, I've actually come to that conclusion now. Yeah, it's not going to win any Masterpieces of the Year awards or nothing, but I'm having a really good time. I'm having a really good time, despite my throat being absolutely dead. I am having still a great time, but anyway, let's get on with the episode, see exactly how everything went down, and do this thing. We open up with Iska and the gang working on a lot of papers. They're doing a lot of paperwork, which is one thing you never want to do. He brought some bottles drinks, sort of callback to the bottled drink from before with Alice in the... Was that last week? It was last week. Blimmin' hell, feels like we've had more than we actually have, which is crazy. Iska then gets called to the meeting by the Senate, and they basically say, hey, good job, you did good, apprehend her and you'll get your rank restored, basically, which is, he's just sitting there thinking like, now I have a dilemma, and he has this dilemma in his room late at night. Hey, you get what I'm saying? No. He's thinking about it. He asks Captain, he's like, I'm going to skip tomorrow's training session because I need to go to Neutral City, and she's like, okay, but I'm going to skip too and come with you. And he's reluctant to agree, but he does end up agreeing, so that is always good. Alice herself is having her own misgivings about this whole situation. We see that she was the one that got him to a taxi all nice and safe, made sure nothing happened. Nobody harmed a hair on his pretty little head, so to speak. She is, of course, having her misgivings. I said Rin then brings her all the information she could find on his identity. He was a saint disciple, about why he got demoted and imprisoned. All that information is there. Then the plan is they're going to find the mage that he set free, because she's probably somewhere. She's probably a sort of important character, so that's kind of important. Find her. Then her mum shows up and basically is just a bit of a dick. She's like, how dare you like this imperial art? Some of them have like witch executions or whatever. I'm like, yeah, but that one didn't. The one that she's looking at, that one was just pretty abstract art, Kind of a dick is the mum. I think basically what it is all the rulers are dickheads, and the younger generation are going to save the world, basically. It's how it's looking like anyway. She also hides the handkerchief from her mum. Pretty obviously, she did the whole hands behind her back thing. Her mum luckily wasn't paying too much attention, because that's, not too obvious. It's very obvious, so if she had been looking, she would have noticed. After that, Alice tells Rin, that, hey, I'm going to Neutral City, I gotta check something out. And Rin is just like, again, are you serious? What if we run into Iska? And she's like, I know, that's my plan. And it's like, there's no way they'd end up meeting up for a third time, even though we already know that Iska is on his way. But hey, coinky dink, am I right? Iska and the captain, whose name was said this week a couple of times, but I still didn't write it down, so she's still just captain for me. They get to Neutral City, they spot a griffin on their way. Thought that'd be more important than it actually was, unless the implication is they were riding on the griffin, Alice and that, but I'm not too sure. They go to Neutral City, quickly run into Alice and Rin. Captain is a bit confused, like, who is this lady? What's going on? And then, introductions, very pleasant introductions from Alice, considering everything going on. And then the captain is like, Iska, what the hell's going on? What have you been up to? What have you been up to and not been telling the rest of the unit? They head out of the city to talk, I guess. Don't know why, I guess to get away from people. She asks Iska, why did you free that mage? And he was like, it weren't right. Had to set her free, so I did. And she says that his answer is a contradiction. It's contradictory to, the goal, I guess. He's like, no, my goal has been the same throughout. Basically what his plan is, which it's got a lot of holes in it, but there's not a lot else he could really do. His plan was to kidnap and hold a hostage of one of the royal family members of the the mage thing. You know, she's a princess, so it makes sense for her to be taken hostage to basically force peace talks to happen. She's like, I'm not going to let her go until peace talks happen. But then Alice is like, my mum wouldn't give a crap about that, man. She wouldn't care if I was taken. So your plan has a lot of holes in it. And he's like, well, I have to do something, you know. She then offers not a compromise, a rebuttal, I guess. She's like, you come serve under me, basically, which is pretty mental. I thought he was going to take it, I'm being completely honest. Like, what they just need a third country at this point. Just take over neutral city. Like, this is the neutral zone. If you don't hate each other, you can come to our country. Basically, that's sort of how they need their own country. That's what I think, anyway. Before he gets a chance to answer her proposition, though, just the sky starts cracking. Yeah, I thought that was pretty weird. It's like an earthquake, some typhoon going on, and then the sky cracks. You know, which I thought was pretty weird. A girl comes down after the sword. The girl, of course, is the founder. And I was just a bit like, what? This is a bit early, isn't it? I thought this was going to be like end of the season fight. But no, it's happening on episode 3. Which is like, damn, that was quick. That was very, very quick. The immediate thought of the captain is, this is a trap. They set this up to kill us. And she's like, it's not fair. And then Alice is like, we didn't do this. Hold the phone. We have nothing to do with this. Calm it down. Founder wants to destroy the Empire, obviously, and is pretty, you know, single-minded in that goal, but has no qualms about, you know, catching the mages in the blast radius. And yeah, that's a thing that happened. She's not happy, to put it bluntly. Meanwhile, the Queen, well, she is happy, but she's not happy. The Queen, meanwhile, of the What's-It Nation, the Mage Nation, she's a bit like, oh, she's awake, and she's like, actually, this is a good thing. That means the Empire will fall. Yes, we shall destroy the Empire with an iron fist. She's going to be pissed when she finds out what Alice did. Like, really, really pissed. But we'll get to that. Iska asks, hey, why are you also attacking your friends? And the founder is just like, I do what I want, bitch, basically. Alice comes to the reason she came today. She came to quash the feeling she had with Iska. Basically, she doesn't like that she likes him. She came to do away with it once and for all. And annoyed, and is annoyed, sorry, words are hard, because the founder showed up to ruin it. Damn it. So I guess this was either going to be the team up or the end of it, basically, was what Alice was thinking. It's like, you're going to join me or we're going to be done, basically. But the founder ruined that, so not a great thing. The founder, however, is not pleased. Alice tries to stop her for ruining it, and the founder is like, well, I'm going to kill you now, basically. And thankfully, though, Reen uses her rock golem to protect Alice from the flames. The founder uses like 3 or 4 different elements during this fight, which I guess is pretty crazy, although I guess it's the founder. That makes a little bit of sense. As I said, Reen protects Alice, gets knocked out though, which is not good. Iska tells Alice, hey, cool the fire with ice to heal her. And she's like, that's a good plan. I'm going to do that. And then tells Captain, take her to a hospital, get all the civilians out of here, and the 2 of us will stay behind to fight this basically godlike being. Probably not a godlike being, but, you know, a very strong being. Very strong at least. So Iska and Alice are going to team up as you would probably expect. As I said, very early for this big old team up. I reckon that's what was going to happen. They're going to keep fighting throughout the series. They're going to keep getting into fights, and then there's going to be an even bigger threat, and they're going to be like, let's team up. But then afterwards, they're always going to be like, now we're enemies again. But they're not really. They're like frenemies. They're beyond frenemies. They're like, I got nothing. Loving rivals, we'll go with. Founder knows Master, what was his name, Crosswell, who gave Iska the swords. The founder knows who that is. So I guess Master Crosswell is also like a really old dude, because the founder is years and years old. So the Crosswell must also be very, very old. These swords probably have something to do with, I mean, we already figured one of the swords is probably what woke the founder up, so they've probably got something to do with the mage power, probably going to be a key to uniting the world or something, I have no idea. They both think she's no longer needed because of all of the hatred she's got. She's pretty indiscriminate, she hates everything in the Empire, so That's not good. Whereas Alice has started to see, hey, Iska's good. Maybe there might be other good people as well. So she doesn't necessarily hate the Empire as a whole. You can't judge the whole country by the acts of the leaders, I guess. Thank God, because, you know, the world at the moment, the real world. But hey, that's not politics. This politics are stupid. Team up fight, which is pretty good. Iska saves Alice from getting blown away at one point. He grabs her hand. I guess I'll talk briefly, before we get to actually the stuff that happened, we'll talk about the fight. So Silverlink, despite being a studio that I often see be called really bad, I don't see it. Like, a lot of the Silverlink anime I think have pretty decent fights. Like, you got like Prismarilia, you got this, the Shield one from earlier this year, Bofuri, that was good animated as well. Maybe not Wise Man's Grandchild, that was pretty pants, but you get what I'm saying. I'm not going to say they knock it out of the park, but they always have decently animated shows, and I think this is another one in that same camp where I think, yeah, it's not amazing, but it's competent, it's good, you know. I'm not looking at it and going, ugh. It's not like flipping New Seven Deadly Sins. That was pretty bad. It's a lot better than that, that's for sure. But back to the actual events, I guess. At one point he saves Alice and she's like, let me go. And he's like, I'm not going to let you go, man. That's not exactly how he sounds, but you get it. My voice is really starting to go. I'm sorry, man. I'm glad I've only got one review to do today. Right now, they share the same goal, so they're going to do more team-up fighting that they do. She makes an ice staircase for him to run up. She also uses like an ice flower to block the oncoming shots. And then Iska jumps up. One thing I did notice, one of his swords totally disappeared during this part. He jumps up, and there's a big old slice to cut off the wings of the founder, which in turn also puts her back to sleep. I should use proper gender nouns. Puts her back to sleep. So presumably she's going to wake up again at some point. Presumably the queen over at the sovereignty place is going to be pissed and like, why did she go back to sleep? That's kind of weird. And then, you know, she'll probably find out, oh, Alice did it, you know, and then she'll exile her, and then Iska will also get exiled, or they have to make their own country. I just want them to make their own country and conquer the world, to make a world of peace, damn it. At this point, the two existing countries are not going to stop fighting. Just make a third one. I mean, I guess adding a third faction might not be the best idea, but it's a faction that's about peace. Be like, yo, if you don't hate everyone, just come to our place. And then you got like all the people, the hateful people in the two existing ones. You have a third one where all the nice people go. I'd be a brilliant politician. No, I wouldn't, because I have no understanding of real world politics. But this ain't a real world, damn it, it's a fantasy world. Very quickly at the end, Iska says, hey, I can't accept your offer, I can't defect. Sorry, it's not you, it's me, basically. And then they're like, alright, well, we're enemies again. But not for today. I'm just going to go sleep today, man. I'm exhausted. And they are both exhausted, and they just sort of lay there, like, and then that's where the episode ended. So, yeah, didn't expect them to fight the founder this week, as I said. I mean, my not intentions, but my hopes are pretty clear. I just want them to make their own country. Hopefully this event has sort of, you know, hopefully it'll force the leaders of the other places to kick them out, so they have to be together. Because, I don't know if it's just me, but, like, I find the show about 50 times more enjoyable when they're together. Like, when it's just them on their own, like, it's like, oh, whatever, you know. When they're together, I think they're like, yeah, like, they complement each other really well. I know this is fantasy, you know, fantasy rubbish, so to speak, but it's good fantasy rubbish. Trash is the word. I just turned super British for no reason, but I'm having a good time watching it. Anyway, though, what was my favourite part of the episode? It's a quite easy to answer question, I'm going to be honest with you. It is the big old team-up fight. I've mentioned in other videos how much I absolutely love team-ups, no matter how big or small they may be. And this was no exception. Yes, it's only been 2 weeks. If they had not teamed up for the entire series and then it happened at the end, it would have been way, way more hype. But it was still good, you know? I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth and be like, nah, man, that's not good. No, it was still good. I liked it a lot. They had a very strong foe to fight immediately. I would almost say they dealt with it too easily, you know? Maybe that shows how strong they are. Maybe it was longer in the books, which I didn't realise had an official translation, I'm going to be honest. I was just browsing Amazon and it was there and I was like, I'm watching that. Cool. But yeah, no, the fight was definitely my favorite part. I think I said before, the side characters are pretty meh to me. I'm not a fan of the. I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm not a fan. They're just kind of meh. Hopefully they get more to them. Which, hey, we're still early days. There's still time for that to happen. But obviously, the most important part is Iska and Alice. Have them run the world, and all will be well. All will be good. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing and stuff for more reviews. That would help me out a lot. I will see you next week for another episode of this. Take care and bye guys.